So, with the self-inquiry or enlightenment, what happens to the mind? Will the mind die? There is nothing called mind to die. If there's something called mind which can die, there is nothing called mind. So, what is mind? What we call as mind? Mind is not a solid entity. Okay, mind is a bundle of thoughts. Mind is a bundle of thoughts. Listen carefully, my logic. The bundle of thoughts which keeps on coming, we think that there's an entity called mind based on the bundle of thoughts. I gave so many examples like that. Is there something called river? Is there something called river? There's nothing called river as a solid entity. River is a flow of water. The flow of water is called river. Okay. There is a question asked. How many times you can dip in a river? You can take a holy dip in the river. People have gone to Kumbh Mela. How many times they can take a holy dip in Kumbh Mela? They cannot take, because by the time you take dip, the river has already flown. River is nothing but flowing water. There's no entity called river as such. There's nothing called river. Flow of water is called river. Flow of thought is called mind. There's no solid entity called mind. So problem in our language, this is a fundamental problem in our language system. Our language is converting verbs into noun. Verbs into noun. River is a noun, but river is really a verb. Flowing of water is called river. Flowing is continuous. So this is the problem of mind. Mind and language convert verb into noun. There's nothing called river. There's only rivering is there, which is flowing water is there. Is it clear? So is there something called mind? There's nothing called mind. There's a flow of thought is there. The flow of thought is called mind. There's no solid entity called mind. So we are objectifying a moving entity called thoughts into mind. Now your question is, what happens after enlightenment? So the correction is happening in the flowing mind. Okay, what happens to them? What happens after that is the question. So now, if you look at your thought process, every thought of ours, there's a background thought called I thought. Can you think of something without I thought? I thought is the subject and any thought is the object. Understand? So now I thought is the basis for all our thoughts. Now this I thought which is created in mind is a false entity. It's only without Anvaya Vyatireka, it's without considering Anvaya Vyatireka. Mind, which is called biological computer, has equivalent of biological computer, has created a false identity called I thought. Now, the false identity called I thought is the root of all thoughts. So what will happen? A flow of thought is created in consciousness. The thought is nothing but activity of consciousness. One after the other thought is created because I thought is there. A false I thought is there. The false I thought has come without considering Anvaya Vyatireka. Now, there's a correction happens in the thought process itself. The false I thought is not real I. I am really the witness, Sakshi. That understanding gets created. Now, will the false I thought be created often, frequently? The frequency of creating false I thought will come down. The mind also becomes more and more silent. This is what happens. And this is called death of the mind. Death of the mind is not but really death of the mind. Death of the mind is really identification of the false I thought. And once false I thought, the thief is identified, there's nothing to identify. So the mind becomes more silent. We can say, use the language, mind becomes silent. I'll say flow of thought reduces. A Gnani, when he interacts with the world also, he will have I thought, because purpose of interaction with the I thought is there. Interaction with the world is there. But only thing is he will not associate the I thought with the body and mind intellect, because mind is now correction has happened in the mind. Well, Gnani interacts with the world. What is the I thought? What is the understanding of I? Recording of I? Nanu, Nanembudu, Nanalla, Ideha, Mana Buddhi, Nanalla, Sachidanandatma, Shivanannane, Shivoham, Shivoham. A false I is not recorded. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, I'm not the intellect. That understanding has happened because Anmaya Vyatireka law. Now, no more false identity, false I will be recorded as I'm the doer, I'm the knower, I'm the enjoyer. Kartaham, Bhoktaham, Gnataham. Then what happened in the process? There's no more recording of, there's no more impressions which are created in the mind. When the impressions are created, less impressions created in the mind, less thoughts are there. So Gnani will operate moment to moment using a I thought, but discarding the I thought because I thought is not real I. It is used temporarily I thought for interaction in the world. If Ramana Maharshi, somebody asks Ramana Maharshi, Namaskara, Ramana Maharshi says, what do you want? That means he is identifying the Ramana Maharshi thought momentarily, then just dissolves. The thought dissolves. The flow of mind, flow of thoughts reduces. And Gnani has a clarity, whatever I thought is coming is not real. It's a functional purpose. For operating the world, it's required, functional. But it's not real I. That clarity will be emerged in the mind. Right? This is actually in scriptures called death of the mind. It's not, there's nothing called mind to die. Manonasha is not death of the mind. Manonasha is death of the ignorance in the mind. Adnana. Ignorance is that I thought is created falsely. That ignorance is dies. This is called Manonasha. No. Death of false I thought. Thought will come for interaction in the world. But there's no identification with the I thought as I. Death of ignorance is the right word. Death of ignorance about I is called enlightenment. Is the answer clear to all? Anybody has a question? Dr. Vipin, Satyavati. Wait a minute, I have any questions? Any questions on Zoom? Okay. So what is your question? What is the question?
If nobody is dropped, or if there is no entity that is destroyed or anything, then why do they say that Atma is destroyed or that this thing is gone?
Okay. So next question.